I just used a meet and greet car parking service at an airport. The car parking service had damaged my car. They had taken pictures of when they collected my car, and I noted the damage when they left the car back with me. I've taken pictures of the post-incident. The company are denying that they caused any damage, but are not providing any evidence to show that the car was damaged when they took possession of it. So I had two questions, really. What are my chances of, if I go ahead and get the car repaired and then claiming against the company at a small claims court, where do I stand and what are my chances with that? And the second question is do I have any redress against the booking company? I used an online comparison website to book this meet and greet service. That comparison site is sort of saying, well, look, but it's nothing to do with us.
All right. Well, Nick, let me answer that question first. No, you have no claim against the comparison site. They're not the one who provided the service for you. There is literally...
Even though I paid them?
No, there's no claim against the comparison site. The claim is against the service provider. You would have paid through the comparison site. Sorry, you would have paid the service provider via the comparison site, but the comparison site's terms and conditions would make it quite clear your contract is with the meet and greet service provider. So there are two questions here. First of all, can you show that they damaged the car? And number two, is it worth a hassle and how do you go about it? Number one, can you show that they damaged the car? Well, if they had photos of the car at the drop-off point and you have photos of it at the collection time and there is a difference, then you can prove that the car's been damaged whilst the car was at the airport car park. It doesn't follow from that, of course, that it was damaged by the meet and greet people unless they have an exclusive area in the car park and only they park cars in that area. Because it's possible if they're just parking anywhere in a big car park, then somebody else could have come and hit your car when reversing into a slot. Does that make sense?
Right. It does make sense.
So the first thing we need to know is whether they have an exclusive area at the at the car park. If they do, it's straightforward. They'll be responsible for the damage. I'll talk about how you bring the claim in a second. If they don't, it's trickier. You just have to be lucky with a judge who forms a dislike of them, and a judge will form a dislike of them if they're saying, well, prove it was damaged in our general possession, when they've got the photos that prove it or not, and they're refusing to disclose them. The judge won't like that. So you're starting from the right position there.
Okay.
How do you win the claim? First of all, get 2 quotes to repair it. Don't just get one. That's really important because it makes it much harder for them to argue that you've paid a friend an inflated amount or that the quote wasn't reasonable. Get 2 quotes, ideally 3, but 2 should be fine. And then send them the quotes and say, I'm going ahead with this, will you pay it? They'll ignore the letter. Then you go ahead and then you can bring a claim against them in the small claims court for failure to exercise reasonable care and skill. That's the phrase. Failure to exercise reasonable care and skill. It'll take a bit of time. Chances are they'll offer you 50% of it to avoid a court case. And if you choose to fight, you'll probably win.
Right, understood. And just for the future, are there things that you recommend consumers do to avoid or to protect themselves from these types of situations with that when you're handing over your like a really valuable possession, your car, to a meet and greet attendant because you want the convenience of being able to park at an airport? Have you had much experience in this area?
Well, I don't personally use meet and greet people, but just take photos everywhere when you drop it off. It's much more important that you have photos rather than them having photos. It's important for you to take the photos and get photos when you pick it up, or at least do a thorough inspection when you pick it up to satisfy yourself that it's not got damage. Because if you spot the damage 2 days later, it's much harder to show it was them. Also, make sure you get a shot of the odometer to show how many miles it's done at the drop-off point and the pick-up point, because it is known for some companies to then hire out cars. While if they know the owner's in Spain for 3 weeks, they'll hire out the car for 3 weeks and give it to somebody else to drive. So get the odometer readings. Always worth doing.